In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use wood chips using the Soils in Sync infographic. So when we're talking about using wood chips as a mulch or compost ingredient, we'll go to the brown section where we have compost and mulch ingredients and find mixed arborist wood chips. Now what mixed arborist wood chips are is the inner wood chips, the tree bark, the leaves, and the tender branches all ground up into one. This is the stuff that a tree trimmer runs through his shredder. This is distinctly different than wood shavings or sawdust. Wood shavings come from the heartwood only of the tree and is usually the product of a wood shop, and it is a product of kiln-dried lumber. Sawdust is also a product of lumber processing, but is in much finer, dustier particulates. The carbon and nitrogen ratio of these materials are distinctly different. That's because all this green, leafy stuff and these small, tender branches contribute more nitrogen to the mix. This study by Brian Scherenbrock and Gary Watson showed that wood chips produce the greatest biomass growth in trees compared to finished compost, fertilizer, compost tea, and biological product. And wood chips were the winner by far. Think about that. Wood chips fed a tree better than a rich garden-type compost. So the single best use for wood chips is to feed your orchard trees or a blueberry. Now that's not to say you can't use wood chips to mulch your raspberries or grapes, but see, they don't vertically align. That means that the carbon and nitrogen ratio of wood chips is too high for raspberries, blackberries, or grapes. So if you do choose to mulch those plants with your wood chips, you're going to need to find some material from this end of the spectrum so that they balance each other out. A better material for mulching blackberries or raspberries would be straw or tree leaves because they vertically align. They share a similar carbon and nitrogen ratio. They share a similar place in the ecosystem succession. Many people are learning the hard way that mixed arborist wood chips will wreak havoc on a vegetable garden. This is because their carbon and nitrogen ratios do not align. Wood chips come from a forest ecosystem. Veggies don't grow in a forest ecosystem. So if you are going to use wood chips on your vegetable garden, you're going to need to combine them with some very high nitrogen materials like urine, poultry manure, maybe slaughter waste. Combining these two materials from opposite sides of the spectrum will balance out to feed your vegetable crops. But you're probably going to want to compost your wood chips so that they're mostly totally broken down. Here's a few other creative uses for wood chips or sawdust. Here I used extra wood chips around the outside of my garden fence to prevent grass from creeping in. This works because, for one, it smothers the grass physically. For two, it also changes the soil chemistry by adding way more carbon than grass likes to live in. The same works for sawdust. In fact, sawdust works even better because the carbon to nitrogen ratio is so much higher. The same concept works in garden pathways. They also provide a nice, clean place to walk to keep your boots from getting all muddy. You should also have separate beds and pathways in your garden so as to prevent compaction where your plants are growing. Be careful using sawdust because sawdust kicks around and you'll eventually kick dust into your beds and offset the carbon and nitrogen ratio. Sawdust works especially well for a urine composting toilet because of its density. You can compact the sawdust more so than wood chips. Wood chips and wood shavings and sawdust are also commonly used as animal bedding to collect their urine and manure and capturing the nitrogen in it to be used for vegetable or row crop use. Check out the link in the description for a full tutorial on the Soils in Sync infographic and soil health principles. We'll see you in the next one.